New Hampshire Republican Senator Kelly Ayotte is on the Armed Services Committee, and she joins me now. Senator, welcome. Good morning to you.
Thank you, Martha. Good morning.
Thank you for being here. You know, you listened to the CIA director there, and it's really a continuation of what we heard from the head of the Department of Defense. We also heard it from Josh Earnest over the course of last week. The administration is putting this fight on the battlefield at a longer and longer arm's length every day, it appears.
It does look that way, and if you look at the ISIS recent success in Ramadi and other successes they are having, obviously there's not going to be a political solution without success on the battlefield. And so the current strategy is clearly not working because they are succeeding more and more in terms of the territory that they're taking. And again, I think that we need to hear from the president, not just putting this off, but what is going to be the strategy to defeat ISIS on the battlefield. And even when you look at the airstrikes that have been taken, so a great majority of them, we're not even dropping bombs because we don't have JTACs and forward air controllers on the ground to let us know where to drop them and be more effective. Also, the support we could give the Kurds, there's much more we could do there in directly giving them arms, as they are an effective fighting force on the ground. But again, to put this off seems to me we can't have a wait-and-see attitude when we see what ISIS is doing and the foreign fighters that are flowing in there and the risk it can possess to us.
Yeah, hundreds of countries, by the assessment of the UN, are now supporting ISIS fighters, and they have absolutely grown over the course of our effort to diminish their ranks. So I want to move on to another topic that's obviously very hot on Capitol Hill right now and across the country in terms of the conversation that people are having about NSA bulk collection data and whether or not it works, is effective, and is constitutional. So here's a soundbite from Senator Rand Paul, who was just on speaking with Bill just a moment ago. Here he is.
I actually want more collection of records on terrorists. I just want less collection of innocent Americans. I think we sometimes get distracted by collecting so many records of innocent Americans that we're not spending enough time actually following the potential jihadists in our country. So here's what I would propose. I would hire 1,000 new FBI agents to track these people.
Is there truth to that?
Martha, I think where we are is that it's very important that we give our intelligence officials the tools that they need to obviously gather intelligence on groups like ISIS that we just talked about that really present a threat to us, Al-Qaeda, other terrorist groups. We cannot go back to a pre-9/11 mentality. Right now on the Senate floor, we have the USA Freedom Act. I expect that in the next couple of days, we're going to be debating that, improving that, and then obviously making sure that our intelligence officials have the tools that they need to protect America. And we've heard the former director of the FBI, Director Mueller, tell us, as well as a former CIA Director Morrell tell us, that had they been able to get the information and make the connections that this bulk data program allows, they think they would have prevented 9/11, or it would have been an important piece of information to know before 9/11.
Yeah.
So this is what's at stake for us.
But you can also give examples, as Senator Paul has, of times when we had the benefit of this bulk collection program, like in Boston and in Garland, Texas, where it didn't work and we weren't able to follow these people because there's simply too much data. So he's saying, why don't we step up the number of FBI agents that we have dedicated to tracking these people, because we know that there are individuals in this country who want to do us harm, and maybe, you know, sort of cast a smaller net that is more focused based on intense work on these leads.
Martha, I would say I don't disagree with him on more support for our FBI and our intelligence officials, but I also think when we hear from our top intelligence officials that these are important tools to have, we should have the debate on how to reform them, but make sure they have those tools and also support them with additional agents, as that's what they need to pursue terrorists. Because as I look at what's happening around the world right now, we need to make sure that we are protecting Americans and not going back to where we were before 9/11.
Yeah, you know, what about focusing on things like facial recognition technology, better coordination with local law enforcement? Because those are specific things that we don't hear much talk about, but that could actually help us to get closer to the people who are already on our soil who want to do bad acts.
Well, Martha, I agree with all the above. I mean, you've got our local law enforcement, they're the most likely on the ground. If you look after the Boston bombing, would have been the local officials that would have seen and interacted with those terrorists first. So absolutely, there needs to be sharing of information and coordination from state and local to federal. I mean, I was a former attorney general. I saw it on the ground. We do need to always focus on that. We've done that after 9/11. We can always do better there.
All right. Would be good to hear even more about that. Senator Kelly Ayotte, thank you very much. Good to have you with us as always.
Thanks, Martha. Appreciate it.